Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching I Allegedly, and got a good one for you today. I am in Laguna Beach, and I came down here for two reasons. Number one, I wanted to come see these huge waves that they're having today, and number two, I got invited to the wildfire preparedness event from the Laguna Beach Fire Department, and it was absolutely an amazing event, and everybody should be preparing for whatever disaster could strike you. Now, we're hearing from so many billionaires again that are getting in unison as far as how bad the economy is going to get. And before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Satellite Phone Store. I'll talk about them a little bit later. But let's get into it. The first one is Barry Sternlicht from Starwood Capital is talking about how people need to get themselves ready because what the Fed is doing is not going to work. And I love this article out of Fortune magazine because this guy is brutal. And he's talking about Jerome Powell and his merry band of idiots, or he called them lunatics, merry band of lunatics, and how they're doing nothing but destroying the economy and destroying people's lives in the process. Now, if you take a 30% hit in your life and you're loaded and you're rich, you're not going to care about that. But if you're an hourly wage person and you lose your job, your life is destroyed. So this guy's talking about how he's been ringing the bell for months now about how what the Fed has done with their 5 rate increases so far, and we haven't even gotten into November yet, is going to do nothing to help the economic problem, but it's going to help Jerome Powell's friends. This is an amazing way to think about this, guys, because big business, billionaires, normally kind of keep quiet about this stuff, but now they're all coming out and they're saying, this is not going to work. This is getting worse by the week. And the average person that is just squeezing by, like the hourly wage person he talks about in the story, is going to have nothing but problems right now. And people need to cut back. People need to save money. People need to get themselves out of debt right now and try to plan on how bad this is going to get. And this is a place called Moss Point. It is absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely insane. But one thing that we're seeing out here is the waves are kind of big today. There's a lot of sand, so the tide's not in too far, so it's kind of nice. But just amazing. So, you know, Mr. Sternlicht, the article's great, but he's talking about how what they're doing is not working. It hasn't worked. It's not going to work. And they need to take responsibility. So we all need to wake up to what's happening. The other one is a guy I have a lot of respect for that I've talked about before, a man named Ian Shepherdson from Pantheon Capital. And this guy is the one that was talking about black swan events a few months ago and how, look at how big that is. That's incredible. And how the black swan event that we could have could absolutely destroy everything, and people are not ready for this. But Ian steps forward and says, listen, we got to look at real estate. Real estate's going to conservatively drop 20%, and it's going to destroy so many businesses along with it. And when you think about that, when you think of lumber, when you think of home improvement, when you think of new construction, old construction, existing sales, real estate markets, mortgage companies, refinance, new mortgages, everything is going to be affected by this. And Mr. Shepherdson is talking about how people need to look at this. Now, again, it is nice to have these people be on the same page, finally, because you're starting to see, oh, it's fine, it's not, it's good, it's bad. It's nice to see people connected and admitting that there is a problem with everybody. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys, so far. Man, this place is insane with just how beautiful it is, okay? You've got, okay. One thing that's amazing about Laguna is at the end of each street, you have these places you can park and just walk down. And then you've got these private beaches like this. You just come down the stairs and it's your own little private cove here. It's the coolest thing. Climbing the rocks, look at all the crabs, look at everything. It's just absolutely amazing. But we don't generally get to see stuff like this, you know, with just every beach. It's just not like this. This place is just absolutely stunning. Share your thoughts so far. There's a lot more to cover. Let's talk about our sponsor, Satellite Phone Store. You know, it is absolutely a beautiful day out here, and I'm hiking by myself in the middle of nowhere, and I have one problem. And that problem is that I don't have cell coverage out here. Now, that would normally be a big deal, but now it's not, because I've got a satellite phone from the Satellite Phone Store. The cool thing about this is that I can call other cell phones, they can call me. If disaster strikes, I don't have to worry about the cellular network. I could use the satellites to communicate with anybody I want to. It is absolutely amazing. And for only $99.95 a month, you can have 150 minutes for 13 months. They give you a phone also. It is absolutely amazing. Now, the other thing that I think is absolutely the coolest device is called the Bivy. The Bivy takes this and turns it into a satellite texting device, but it also has a few features where it gives you weather. If you live in an area that's not sunny like this and you have snow or inclement weather or rain, you want to know what's going on, you can use your Bivy and find that out. It can give you the GPS coordinates, but the absolute coolest thing with the Bivy is that you can use this to press one button. It will notify people in your contact list of exactly where you're at. No more lost hikers, no more lost fishermen, no more, hey, don't worry about me, I'm in the middle of nowhere. You're going to be able to let your family and friends know. Use the link below, contact the Satellite Phone Store, let them know that I allegedly sent you to get these great savings. But again, one of the coolest things ever is this, and I just think that everybody needs to have this, and you don't know when disaster is going to strike. I'm not worried about this anymore with communicating with my family because I got everybody satellite phones and Bivies, and everybody's all, you know, hooked up with this. You should do the same thing. Take a look at this today and look at the link below and tell them I allegedly sent you. Now, the auto industry is going to experience something that we haven't seen in our lifetime, which is going to collapse in such a huge, huge way. And during the health crisis, when it started, there was such a demand for automobiles and such a limited supply that it did two things. It drove the price up on new cars, and it dramatically drove the price up for used cars. Well, Joseph Spack from RBC Capital Markets, he steps forward and he says, the demand destruction is going to be huge for the automobile industry. It's going to get absolutely destroyed during this time. And you're going to see people come to reality as to how bad the markets are when it comes to automobiles. And that people are going to get themselves to a realistic place when it comes to the market. There's a man, Joseph Hummel, from UBS, analyst, and he steps forward to say, listen, the automobile industry is done. Ford, he just listed Ford as a sell right now, from neutral to a sell. He listed GM from a buy to a neutral. Oh, that's a glowing endorsement for the American auto industry right now. So here's the thing. We've seen such a demand for used cars, and we've seen things go $40,000, $50,000 above manufacturer sticker price for new cars. It has been crazy. I did a video in January of this year where I went to a dealership where somebody sent me the photo of a Bronco, and they had $40,000 dealer markup on that. That was insane. And the salesmen are like, hey, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But again, those are the idiots that bought those cars, and the people that went out and were so desperate to buy used cars because all these Honda dealerships and everybody were selling used cars like they were new and jacking them up. You know, cars that were 10 years old and getting $10,000 over Blue Book was insane for that. And now these people finance these cars at such high interest rates that they cannot afford to keep the cars right now. And again, nobody plans on, hey, I'm going to buy this car and I'm going to stiff the auto company. Nobody plans on that. But people lose their jobs and things go south that you don't plan on. And the other lie that these car people were telling people is, don't worry, interest rates are going to go down. You're going to get to refinance the car. No, you're not. And the new cars have interest rates that are the highest they've ever been, well over 7%. And they're also, that's if you have good credit, by the way, I'm talking about that. But they're also starting to finance new cars for 10 years, 120-month financing. Hello, where do you guys draw the line with this stuff and realize this? But the greatest term for the auto industry is demand destruction. And cars are done. You're going to see the same thing happen in this economy that happened around 2006, 2007 to about 2011. And you're going to see material equipment that people need, and they're going to drop in price. I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, I need a dump truck, I need a tractor, I need this, I need that. And I'm just telling them, go look in the used market. Go start talking to people individually. Don't go to dealers, because there's some guy out there who financed it, who may have put 40, 50 grand down, and he's dying to get out of that payment and would take $10,000 from you, and you take over the payment. That's out there, guys. But also, you have to look at somebody who made a killing during this time. And during the last economic downturn, the economic ninja, he flipped tractors, you know, which I wouldn't even know how to do that. But this guy would buy used tractors and then flip them because he knew the market and everything like that in the rural area that he's in. So that's coming back, guys. What are you good at? What do you know about? Do you know about motorcycles? Do you know about golf carts? Do you know about the Sea-Doos, the off-road things? Do you know about the sand rails? All that stuff? That stuff's coming back. But people are desperate for money. And this is the beginning of the desperation, where they're going to start seeking help from people. And you're going to see this more and more and more in the coming months. This is absolutely stunning, though. This is like Hawaii right here, guys. Look at this wave. Look how big that wave is. God, that's beautiful. This is Moss Point. When the tide goes out, all the rocks are covered in green moss. It's absolutely crazy. But the moss gets this green growth on it, similar to like grass. It's like big, green, long grass. It's really, really cool to see. So share your thoughts on this stuff. Do you think the auto industry is going to be crazy? Do you think Mr. SPAC is out of his mind? I think he's great. I think the guy knows exactly what he's talking about. But I love that UBS downgraded Ford. You know, think about this. Told you guys about the Ford F-150 Lightning. That's what they're banking all their money on right now, is that people are going to buy this new electric truck. I had a subscriber write to me who told me how they're towing their truck, and all the thing does is lose battery power when they go uphill towing the truck. That's a vote of confidence when you guys think about that when it comes to Ford products. So share your thoughts on this. Has anybody rented or driven one of these Ford electric vehicles and had any luck with it at all? Because, you know, I think it's crazy. You know, somebody sent me an article about how it took 17 hours to go a couple hundred miles in their electric car. And as I go to Vegas tomorrow, I'm looking at getting there as quickly as possible. We've got some stops along the way. We're going to say hi to people. We're going to hook up with Greg Manarino, which is going to be fantastic. I've got, you know, investor meetings. We've got all this stuff planned for Vegas. We're going to have a meet and greet too on either Tuesday night or Wednesday night. So stay tuned for that, and I'll let you guys know where that's going to take place. You know, share your thoughts, guys, so far on all this stuff. I want to follow up on a few things that we've talked about in the past that keep coming back. Number one, you're seeing a lot of squatters right now that are going to the houses that are not theirs and claiming, hey, I have the legal right to be here. And there's a couple out of Maryland that drive up to their new house and realize that there's a U-Haul truck in front of their house, and the people are like, we're not coming out, we just leased this place from the bank. The paperwork was totally bogus, and you're seeing more and more things like this happen. If you have any stories like that from around the country or around the world, feel free to share them, because everybody loves those stories because they don't believe that and they think it's just wacky California, but this happened in Maryland. Now, we have serious banking problems, and I want to thank Suzanne for sending this story, because Kiwi Bank in New Zealand, you know, she explained the banking rules there, and it's kind of fascinating. If you make a large deposit, let's say $100,000, you need to explain to the bank where the money came from. So if you own a business, it would be payment for a contract. You'd have to prove that. I sold property, whatever. That's a fine system. Okay? I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with verifying funds and where this check came from, or the cash or whatever, because sometimes people pay in cash. Anyway, one thing that's fascinating is she tried to get herself, $3,600 out of the bank, and they only had $2,000 in cash. She had to wait days, she had to schedule an appointment, and when she went to get the money, they only had $2,000 in cash. Okay? Guys, this is the end right now of stuff like this. If you don't think that there's going to be a global banking crisis, you are kidding yourself right now, because this is a telltale sign of that. So share your thoughts on this stuff. And again, send me anything that you guys think is relevant to what we've talked about in the past, because Don sends me a bunch of stories, but Don sent me a great story at a Medium about cattle ranching in Texas and how the meat supply, we're going to have such a shortage in 2023, regardless of what happens. If it started to rain tomorrow all over the country, it would make no difference, because these cattle ranchers have unloaded so much cattle that there's going to be a beef shortage in 2023. It's undeniable. And when you talk to the existing cattle ranchers, they're saying, yeah, that's the case. Now, here's the thing. This makes sense, okay? You have a cow. You want the cow to get to a certain size before you sell the cow. The problem with it is that these cattle ranchers were so worried that they wouldn't be able to get anything, or that they would have more cattle die, that they unloaded cattle at an early age and got what they could get to get out of it. They didn't necessarily make any money. Most of them lost money on this, but with that, there's no cattle crop right now. So you're going to see a massive shortage in 2023 when it comes to beef and cattle. It's inevitable. As I run away from the water. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. If you ever see anything like this, I try not to be repetitive, but I try to share the stuff that everybody wants to see. And the squatters, I mean, this is fascinating to me, that people just plant themselves and move into somebody's house. And there's crazy laws that you can take over a house and you can claim it after a certain period of time if you live there, and if you establish residency and you get the utilities and things like that. That's been done, through the dawn of time. But with the insanity that we had during the health crisis, where they just let people live places without paying rent, it was better for some people to have their houses vacant than out there and have people live there and not pay the rent and destroying the property. Because that's happening too. People are just destroying these rental properties when they get evicted now. The foreclosures, full steam ahead right now. They're happening. People that are not paying their bills, get out. Okay, we're done with creative financing. The problem with it right now is the interest rates have doubled on houses. Ian Shepherdson brought up such a great point earlier in this video, and that was that, listen, interest rates have doubled right now, and if you haven't made $40,000 worth of payments, they're just not going to waive that and let you refinance the house at a payment that's $3,000 more a month. You got to pay that old amount back, and people don't understand that. The rents are still going through the roof, but the eviction process is going full steam ahead. New York City still has hundreds of thousands of evictions that they're backlogged on, and it's going to be fascinating to see if they get caught up with that anytime soon, to where there's going to be a normal market for that. So you wonder why rents are high? That's why rents are high. So the other thing is, people were upset with me when I talked about the AI program that was used to figure rent. Again, I'm not a landlord, so it's not on me, but to sit there and just say, hey, it's no big deal. If the machines take over, like Skynet, I'm telling you guys, this is going to create such a world of uncaring people and unrealistic people. And, I think in real estate, you have to have the human factor. I was a single dad, and I would do things, and I would recommend stuff that, let me give you an idea. I would write a letter and show a picture of my ball playing son and say, hey, listen, this is who we have to live in this district so he can play baseball at this school. And people were compassionate about that, and I've got places And you know, there were 40 applications, and I was the 41st one, and I'm like, I'm wasting my time. But that's what got it. So share your thoughts and all this stuff, guys. I want to know what you think about this. But the waves are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger behind me. Absolutely beautiful out there. Hey guys, I'm up at the Laguna Beach Wildfire Preparedness event, and one person I ran into that has the most amazing device is Chris. It's an automated wildfire defense system, and you know, Embers Protection does this. I just wanted to have Chris explain to you what it does, because you guys on the channel have seen wildfires. You know, we've seen the Laguna fire, we saw Laguna Niguel burn, but what this guy came up with, what he's got patented, is absolutely amazing. So Chris, can you tell people a little bit about it?
Sure, we'd love to. What we have here is an automated wildfire defense system, full-on protection for homes. We have perimeter and structure defense. What we do is we map wildfires for the specific property. We're tracking fires for the individual home, and we're activating the system automatically by satellite data if it encroaches within a certain distance to the property.
How cool is that? And you know, you were showing me everything, and we've got GPS mapping. You've got these devices that can be installed on the roof. I mean, this is absolutely super cool. But again, Embers Protection Services. You know, I just think this is amazing because, you know, we've seen so many fires lately, and we're, you know, I can't believe we're going to call it fire season, but we're coming into fire season again.
Well, yeah, fire season does extend quite further than it did in the past. You know, it's very unpredictable nowadays when fires are going to ignite. So what we're doing is trying to give every homeowner the ability to defend their home from anywhere in the world. They can defend their home from any smart device. They get a Google Map situation where it will show perimeter rings in 1 mile increments, and each ring will determine a different level of fire danger. That level will activate a certain sequence of operations that will defend their home perimeter
it's
and the structure.
Absolutely amazing. But again, Embers Protection Services guy, I'll leave you guys a link for this. It's absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed that event today because I learned so much about the wildfire problem, what the fire department's trying to do to protect people. But Chris's invention is absolutely amazing, and the fact that they're selling that now is very cool. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories, and the first thing is out of Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley is talking about the liquidity problem with banks, and banks do not have the money right now to operate, and that there's going to be a point in time when they're going to shut down. So read the article below because it's very, very interesting. And then the next thing is out of the New York Post, talking about how it's definitely a buyer's market when it comes to real estate. The hottest market in the country is New York, clearly, but the average home is on the market 7 days longer right now than it was a year ago. Huh? Is that bad? Yeah, it's bad, guys. It's bad if you're selling your house. It's bad, and it's only getting longer by the week. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Now, the other thing is, final thing is, you guys, if you guys are looking for a unique job, the SEC, the football division, is looking for a chili commissioner, and they're going to pay $20,000 to have somebody, you know, cook chili and do it at the SEC championship. So take a look at that story. But again, what a cool job. If you're a chili cooker, go make 20 grand, go work for them. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of press and notoriety and stuff like that. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to sign up for the party, guys. It's going to be absolutely off the chart. Go to dansilver.com to sign up for the party. dansilver.com if you guys are interested in attending the party. And don't forget our sponsor, Satellite Phone Store, which is the absolute most amazing products on the planet Earth. Okay? Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.